Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do something really simple and fun and something you can use all the time. It's a roasted chicken at home, and I'm going to show you how to make it really fast. It doesn't have to be a super long project. So stay tuned, click subscribe if you're not doing that already. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video and ring that bell, and I'll send you more stuff in the future. See you back in a second. Hey you guys, welcome to the kitchen, and today we're going to do what I think is probably one of those simple things you want to cook at home a lot. I know with grocery stores, the way that they roast those chickens and have them in little packs ready for you to take home, most people don't roast chicken anymore. But some people do. Some people like that flavor of a freshly roasted chicken coming right out of the oven. And it does taste a lot different. So there's two things that is special about this recipe. Number one, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to make a lemon chicken in this roasted. And number two, how to cut the chicken in a way that it's going to roast a lot faster, probably 20 to 25 minutes instead of like 45 minutes to an hour. So that's going to be super helpful for you at home. First, let's start with the garnish with this. And the garnish, actually, what I want to do is take simple garnish, potatoes, mushrooms, things you find right in the store. So we have some button mushrooms here. Now, because we're going to roast this for about 20 to 30 minutes, I'm going to leave these mushrooms whole. I like to have like these big whole chunks of mushroom. So I'm going to lay the mushroom in the bottom of this dish. These have been stemmed and cleaned, okay? And I'm just going to lay them here. You can see that, right? And this is going to create like a bed for the chicken. That's what we're looking to do. We want to make this nice bed that the chicken can sit on and roast. So you don't need like a roasting sheet. You're going to have vegetables for that. So we're going to take some onion. So here I have some nice onion. Now I'm going to probably just slice that thinly. It doesn't have to be very small. You know, it's going to cook for a little bit. I'd like the mushrooms to roast nicely. And I'm just going to put these slices of onion a little bit everywhere, right? So I've got there. Again, you can see I just sliced this straight down. Not too thin, right? They're kind of thick slices, right? And I just put them everywhere like this, okay? And I want to definitely put some right on here where we're going to put the chicken on top, okay? Then I've got some beautiful baby potatoes. Now, the reason I get baby potatoes is because they're going to cook the same time. These will cook in 20 minutes. But if you don't have these, if you have a larger potato, then you're going to have to put it in boiling water and cook it first before you roast it in here with the chicken. And the way that you cook a larger potato, like a larger creamish style potato, is you take the potato, you put it in cold water, cover it with water, put salt in there and make it flavorfully salty, right? And then you bring it to a boil on the stovetop. You let it boil for 2 minutes, then you cool it in the liquid. So take it off. After you've boiled it for 2 minutes, take it off and let it cool in that liquid for about 30 minutes. At that point, the potato should be cooked perfectly throughout. And what it does is all the flavor from the potato, all that beautiful earthiness goes out in the water, right? And then when you let it cool in the water, it sucks it all back up. And it's going to suck up that salt back in there too and make them very flavorful. Now, if you just brought them to a boil for like 5 minutes, taste the potato, oh, it's done, and then dump the water out, you're dumping out a lot of flavor. And you can really see that with purple potatoes. Like if you do that with purple potato, you'll dump all that purple color will go away. And that's flavor from the actual potato, and you don't want to lose that. So that's the best way to cook a potato. With these potatoes, we're gonna put them right here in the pan on the outside. Let those roast nice, right? And I've got some cauliflower here too. So I've got a half of a head of cauliflower, and with the cauliflower, I'm just gonna kind of cut this stem out like this, pull it out, right? And I'm gonna just break chunks of cauliflower and put those around. I don't want to have these very small because we're roasting for 20 minutes. So I want those to roast nice, right? And I'll put these on the ends, and we'll put our chicken right in the center. So we've got all of our vegetables pretty much ready to go. Okay, so let's talk about the chicken. So the chicken, here we have a whole chicken, right? And what I want to do with this whole chicken is I want to clip the wings off. Like a lot of times wings, I'll either use those for other stuff, or like eat those with other things. Sometimes what I do is I save these. I put these in, I have like a frozen wing container in the freezer. So every time I get one or two, I'll take those wings and I'll put them in that container and just freeze them on top of other frozen ones. And then when I get enough, I'll either make chicken wings with that, or chicken wings actually make a good soup too. So it's a very kind of Caribbean soup to do with just the chicken wings. So I'll look out for that in the future. You guys can see a video on me and how I make those. So I'm just going to put those to the side because I'm going to use those for that. Now, what you do with this chicken is you're going to cut down the back of the chicken. Now, some people like to do it with scissors. You can do it with your knife. You see how like this center back of the chicken is here, right? Now, I know all of you aren't going to do this because some of you don't like cutting chicken, but for those of you who do, this is a really good way to learn how to do this, right? So that's a piece of liver that's still stuck in there, so I'm pulling that out. And then you can see like here's the other side of the back right here, right? And I'm going to go right down the side of the back like that. Now I want to release it, this little piece of skin that I have there, right? And then down the back the other way, I'm going, and then I'm just going to cut right through the bone there, right? And then what this does, it gives me the back of the chicken. That you want to save for your chicken stock, okay? So put that in a container with the chicken wings, and you can have that with your chicken stock, okay? Then what I'm doing is I'm going to pull out like any pieces of extra bones that I see like this. Now, once I've done that, I'm going to flip my chicken around, okay? And you see my chicken sits really pretty like that, right? And what I want to do is press it down flat. This is called like flattening the chicken down, okay? Now we flattened it because what it's done is made that breastbone that we've cut, it's made the rib bones kind of flatten. So that's what we want to do, is flatten that down a little. Now you can see you have this beautiful bird, like sits like that. Now the only other thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to take this leg bone out because it'll be easier to eat later. Right under here, there's a bone. You can feel it right there. So you basically go under the bone like this, right? And this way. And you just kind of cut around it. See, there's the bone there. And then I just cut that out. You see that? It's easy. And you can't really make a mistake. You're cutting into the meat. So the meat is going to stay there on the chicken. You know, you don't have to worry about anything. Here, I'm just taking this bone and I have another little bone in here. If you are really confused about how to bone out legs like this, then don't worry about it. Just leave a bone in there. The only reason I bone it out now is because later, when we're done with this chicken, you'll see when I cut it, there's really very little bone left on the chicken, only the wingette bone and it would be this leg bone if you left it in. So I keep that for chicken stock too. I like to take it because you're not going to eat it here, and you can use it later to make a beautiful chicken stock for another dish. So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like you're not wasting it. Okay, so with this, I'm cutting underneath this bone. So I'm cutting on both sides of this bone. Then I put my finger under and through it. And you can see there's meat here, so I'm just going to cut it, right? And it's perfect. And then I take the back of the knife. You can always shave the meat off with the back of the knife, and you can see this knuckle here. You just cut through that. So some of you probably have changed the channel already because you're not doing that. Just fast forward it to where I've already got the chicken cleaned, because you can buy it like that from the butcher if you need to, okay? So the cool part is about once it's clean like this, right? And I flip it over, you can see we've got a much thinner bird now. We don't have this big gigantic bird, and now it's flattened and it's nice, right? So with this, now this is the kind of a cool part too, so you guys have to take a look at this. I lay the legs up here like this, you see that? What I do is I poke a hole, not too close to the skin, or we don't want it to break through. Back deep in here, I poke a hole through this, through the skin, and then I grab it with my finger like that. Then I pull this bone, the leg bone, right in it, like this, like that. You see that? And what it does is it keeps that leg organized right there. It's kind of fun. And then do the same thing with this side. So poke a hole back here, and then put this leg bone through it. And it's kind of, you're using the skin of the chicken itself to keep its leg there, you know, together. So that's what it looks like. You can see how I can pick it up like that, right? The legs are tucked in there. You see how that makes that look too, really pretty? Right? And these breasts are up nice. Now the cool part about this will roast really fast. If you want to just do it on a rack, you didn't want these vegetables, you could do that. Now, the other thing that you're going to want to do is we're going to put lemon on this chicken. Now, one of the things about doing lemon chicken is that I'm just basically cutting some of these seeds out. That's all I'm doing over here, you guys. What you want to do is put the lemon juice all over the bird, right? Like this. You can see I've got some seeds on there. Take those off. You don't want those on your bird later, but it's easy just to pull them off like that, right? Okay, now that's a lot of lemon on there, right? That's what I want. I want a lot of lemon. I want to flip it over, and I want to put a lot of lemon here. Okay, like that. Okay, there's a whole lemon in there, right? Boom. You can see that's basted. Now, I just want to let this sit now. Now what I do is I let this lemon sit on the bird for at least 10 minutes, okay? And what that does is, I don't know if you've ever got lemon on your skin. I grew up in Florida, so we always went to the beach when we were kids. We loved having blonde hair, so we'd always put lemon juice in our hair too. So whenever you notice you get lemon juice on your skin like that, it dries, and what it does is it crack. Your skin will feel crackly, right? It's like it almost like creates this barrier with your pores, and it does the same thing on this chicken skin. So if you put the lemon on there, then you just start smearing olive oil and all that. It doesn't get that same kind of crispiness, and I think it really helps to crisp the skin up nicely. So I let it dry on the chicken skin like that. It'll get crackly on the chicken skin, and then you're going to come back and we're going to put oil and pepper and salt on it and get this thing roasted. So I'll see you back in about 10 minutes, okay? Go take a break. Okay guys, we're back. We've let this chicken kind of dry out a little bit, so it's got this nice dryness to the skin. Now from there, we're just going to want to take and we're going to want to put a little bit of oil on it, and we want to pat that oil on, okay? Now the lemon's already on there. It's already permeated this really nicely, right? And then I've got salt. My oven's ready. I'm going to pop this baby in the oven in a second, see how it does. Okay, now you want to do both sides, right? So with this, let me grab a napkin here so I can do my pepper. I like a lot of grated pepper on here, okay? Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to pat that on. Excuse me, got a little paper on there. Pat that on nice. I'm going to flip this over. I'm not going to put pepper on the bottom. Well, we'll put a little pepper on there. Why not? I don't think it'll need it. Actually, the top is fine with all that pepper. I put a lot of salt on the bottom, right? I'll put a little bit of oil on the bottom, but you're really looking for the oil to mainly be on the top for the roasting aspect. We want the skin really crispy. And because you let that lemon dry on there and this oil that's on there, it's going to stay really crispy. Now, if you really love butter and richness, you can take this skin, lift this up, and then underneath there, you could tuck in butter under the skin as well. So it's really nice. You don't have to do that though. And then this chicken is ready to be transferred right over here to our dish. And now you can see we've got a beautiful lemon chicken, right, ready to go. Now, the only thing that I want to add on this is I'm going to add some thyme. So I have some dried thyme here, and I'm going to take probably a tablespoon of that and just sprinkle it over top. Because there's nothing better than lemon and thyme together, right? Now this thyme is dried thyme. I made that myself, actually. That thyme I had in the garden, and I take it when it's really a lot of time in there, cut it, dry it, and it's really nice. Dry it in the sun, just let it dehydrate, and then just take all of that, all the thyme off of the stems, throw the stems away, and you have beautiful thyme powder almost to do this dish with. Now, with the rest of this dish, because I would put a little bit of salt in here, okay, and then I would put a little bit of olive oil, and then we're going to baste this with a little bit, and then what we'll do is I'll add some, I'm going to add a touch of water to this and then roast it. So here we are. We've probably got a cup of water in here. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow this thing to kind of baste a little bit and steam a little bit in the beginning, and the water is going to disappear. It's going to evaporate, and then it's going to start to roast really nice. So that gives us a little bit of time. So this is going to go in a 350 degree oven for, it's we'll let you know how long it takes. It's probably going to take between 25 and 30 minutes. Okay, that's my guess. So what you can always do is we'll check it at around 20 minutes and see where we are. So we'll see you back soon. Okay guys, so here we have the chickens roasting in there, and it's let off a lot of juice as well as a little bit of water that we had in there. It's going to be a nice little sauce later, but here you want to just touch the chicken. You can hear it crackling, and it's done. That's about 30 minutes, 30 to 35 minutes. And now we're just going to take it out and let it cool. Okay guys, we're back, and I've pulled the chicken out. You can see how beautiful. Look at that skin. Skin's all crunchy. It's cooled down now so I can handle it a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I want to take the bird and I want to lift it out of here. And I want to get anything off of it, right? It's got potatoes on there. And I want to lift it out carefully. Put it on my cutting board. Whoops. I don't want to drop these potatoes all over the place. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll stick my cauliflower. You can see, look how perfectly roasted that is, right? These nice big chunks. They're nice and golden browned, right? And then I've got the beautiful, now, what I want to do, I love the flavor of that broth. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the onions like this, right? And I'm going to take some of the mushroom. And you could take just a couple pieces of the potatoes too, right? And we're going to make a sauce from that really quick. You don't have to do this. You could take this juice. This juice like this is super healthy. There's really no butter in it, right? It's just a little bit of the oil that we put on the chicken, but otherwise it's pretty darn healthy. So what I'm going to do is take some, like, I don't want to take too much of the mushroom and put it in there, but you could. There's no reason you couldn't, right? So what I'm going to do now is, you can see I've got just a couple potatoes in there. That's going to thicken it, right? One mushroom for a little flavor, or a couple mushrooms for a little flavor, and the onions that are sitting in this broth. Now the rest of it, I'm just going to scoop it, and I'm going to put it right in here, okay, with our dish, okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'll take all of the juice that's in this. We're going to pour the juice into my blender, and then we're going to just blend it up. And it's going to give us a really nice. Now, if you wanted to, you could really make this like before people get to your house, and then just present it like this at the table, and then you guys could just have at the mushroom, or the vegetables and the chicken itself. So that's it. I want to taste it. Wow, the flavor's so good, you guys. So you can see, I'm going to just take, and I'm going to put all the juice in here like this. And then I'm going to close it up, and I'm going to blend it. And that's going to give it the onions. Let me let it blend so I'm not talking to you over the blender. Let it go for about a few seconds. Okay, now I've taken it off. Carefully opening it because it's still a little warm, the sauce. Okay, and what you end up with is a beautiful chicken-based sauce. Like, I'm just going to pour it right over this and into my pan. Look at that. Wow, that's fantastic, right? Now, let's take a look at the chicken. The chicken, the cool part about this is you come down the center of the chicken very gently on one side of the bone. Well, there's a breastbone right down the center. And then you just go to the bottom like this. We're going to tilt it, and I'm just going to pull it off of that backbone. Whoops. Pull it off of the backbone like this. You see how beautiful that chicken is? It's perfectly cooked. Now, it's still hot in there, so it's actually going to cook. It would cook a little bit more too. Now, what you end up with is this. Look at that. This beautiful chicken breast, right? That nice, thick, plump chicken breast, perfectly cooked. Your thigh meat, and there's no bone on that. There's only that little wing bone there, the little extension of the wing bone, and there's only that little tiny bit of leg bone because we cut off the thigh bone part, right? So you end up with this perfectly cooked chicken. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And it's boneless, and you can go right on your plate like that with that. It's amazing. And I'll do the same thing with the other side. So the other side, you just come down it like this, right? And it's gonna be perfect. Now, if for some reason your chicken, you want it cooked a little bit more, right? You can just, after you cut it like this one is good. This one literally is perfect. It's a little pink right at the bone here. Not even pink, it's actually perfect. But if you want to cook it just a little bit, touch more, you could take it off the bone like this and then just warm this whole thing up in the oven when you're ready to cook it, okay? So you look at that. Look how beautiful that turned out, right? So I've got that beautiful chicken there, beautiful chicken there. Look at that. No bones, all just beautiful, luscious chicken, and it makes a great dinner for 4 people. I mean, if you wanted to add a nice salad with that as well, it'd be great. So very quick, cooks 35 minutes and you're done and you're ready to go, all right? So try it at home. Chicken with cauliflower, mushrooms, onions, potatoes, right? Beautiful roasted chicken. It's got a nice lemon and thyme crust on it. It's gonna be super flavorful. If you wanted to take a little lemon and squeeze a little lemon on top before you serve it, you could do that. It would be nice, the acidity. But otherwise, you've got that great sauce in there that you got from the onions and all the juice that came off the chicken when it roasted. Good flavors. I think you're going to like that dish. Give me a thumbs up if you try and you like it, and come back and see me soon. I'm Chef Dean Max.